Most dog owners believe they're feeding their dogs the right way. And that's exactly where the problem begins. There's a very common mistake, committed by 98% of owners, that harms a dog's body every single day. Even when the food is high quality, the bowl is always full, and the owner is doing everything with love. And the worst part? This mistake seems so small that almost no one notices it. What I'm about to show you is simple and direct. Several normal daily habits around feeding can irritate the stomach, trigger inflammation, lead to silent weight gain, and even increase the risk of severe emergencies like gastric torsion. And many of these issues start inside the home, repeated without anyone questioning them. Before you think, "I'm pretty sure I don't do that," here's the truth. Even the most attentive, caring owners fall into this trap. Today, you'll understand exactly what this mistake is, how it happens, and how you can correct it starting today, with small adjustments that can genuinely improve your dog's long-term health and lifespan. And here's something that may surprise you. The problem isn't the kibble itself. It's how the feeding routine is structured every single day. Once you understand this, everything starts to make sense. 1. Giving table scraps. When a dog receives table scraps, the owner often believes they're showing affection. But inside the dog's body, a chemical battle begins. Substances like theobromine in chocolate or thiosulfates in garlic and onion can destroy red blood cells and overload the liver. Imagine the dog's system trying to neutralize toxins it was never built to handle. On top of that, the fat in human food can inflame the pancreas within hours, which explains why so many well-loved dogs end up with pancreatitis. The line between treating and harming is much thinner than it seems. The most dangerous part of this habit is the invisible family routine. One person gives just a little piece, another does the same later, and by the end of the day, the dog has eaten a toxic mix without anyone noticing. I once worked with a client who believed her dog was picky with kibble, when in reality her father was secretly giving the dog slices of cheese under the table. The fix was simple: a clear, non-negotiable household rule. If you want to offer something special, do it wisely. Apple slices without seeds, dog-safe treats, or appropriate fruits. Real love protects, not risks. 2. Leaving food out all day. Free feeding feels convenient, but physiologically it creates digestive chaos. A dog's stomach continues producing hydrochloric acid even when no food is coming, like keeping a fire burning under an empty pot all day. This extra acid irritates the stomach lining, leading to gastritis, reflux, and pH instability. From an evolutionary perspective, dogs never ate small bites all day long. They alternated short fasting periods with proper meals. Studies show that random eating disrupts gastric motility and lowers digestion quality. There's another detail most people never notice. When food is always available, the dog doesn't eat because of hunger, but out of boredom. This irregular eating pattern contributes to obesity, insulin resistance, and emotional restlessness. Setting fixed meal times gives the dog's body something essential: metabolic rhythm. Measuring portions also helps identify early signs of illness, since appetite changes are often the first red flags. Structure isn't restrictive. It's respectful to the dog's physiology. 3. Abruptly changing the dog food. A dog's intestinal microbiota works like a city filled with trillions of bacteria, each with a specific role. When the diet suddenly changes, this city collapses. Bacteria die off, others overgrow, and the intestine reacts with diarrhea, vomiting, gas, and inflammation. Research shows that abrupt changes alter intestinal pH within 48 hours, completely disrupting digestion. It's not sensitivity, it's biology. A gradual transition over 7 to 10 days is like inviting the new food in slowly, allowing the microbiota to reorganize. Start with 25% of the new food mixed with 75% of the old, and increase little by little. Monitoring stool and energy levels during this process gives the owner total control over adaptation. When this transition is done correctly, digestion stabilizes, discomfort decreases, and the dog adjusts smoothly. 4. Home-cooked food, without veterinary guidance. Cooking for a dog feels loving, but without technical guidance it becomes a nutritional trap. The meal may look healthy, but the dog's body ends up missing calcium, omega-3, fat-soluble vitamins, and essential amino acids. I've seen dogs develop osteopenia because their owners unknowingly replaced nutrient-dense bones with vegetables. Studies show that more than 80% of homemade diets found online are nutritionally incomplete, and the consequences appear gradually over time. A fresh food diet is excellent when built by a veterinary nutritionist because it takes into account weight, age, activity level, and medical history. The right plan isn't chicken, rice, and veggies. It's an exact equation of protein, minerals, fiber, and supplements. With proper guidance, dogs gain energy, improve coat quality, regulate digestion, and strengthen immunity. Done right, it's transformative. Done on guesswork, it's risky. 5. Eyeballing portions instead of measuring. One of the quietest feeding mistakes is trusting your eyes. The difference between the correct portion and an excessive one might be just a few extra tablespoons, but when metabolized daily, it becomes pounds of extra weight over months. Studies show that even professionals can misjudge portions by up to 40%. For a dog's body, every gram matters. Excess calories mean joint strain, heart risk, and chronic inflammation. A simple kitchen scale can undo years of accumulated mistakes. Measuring portions brings accuracy and allows weekly adjustments based on weight, age, and energy level. Tracking body condition, BCS, and logging weight monthly creates a valuable health record. Measuring is like turning on the light in a dark room. You finally see where you're stepping. 6. Feeding, only once a day. Leaving a dog's stomach empty for long stretches works like a balloon under tension, especially in large breeds. Dogs fed only once per day have significantly higher rates of gastric torsion, GDV, an emergency with extremely high mortality. Long fasting increases acidity, causes bilious vomiting, and creates unstable energy levels. What seems practical for humans becomes dangerous for dogs. Their digestive system isn't designed for just one daily meal. Splitting meals into 2 portions stabilizes metabolism, reduces the risk of GDV, and even improves behavior. Many owners notice less anxiety, more consistent energy, and firmer stools once they switch to 2 feedings. This approach is physiological, safer, and much closer to what a dog's body was built to handle. It's a simple change that can save lives. 7. Exercising right after eating. When a dog exercises with a full stomach, the digestive process becomes a risky scenario. The weight of the food increases the chance of gastric rotation, especially in large or excitable dogs. The abdomen moves during physical activity, and a full stomach acts like a heavy bag swinging inside the body. Studies show that the risk of GDV rises significantly when intense activity follows a meal. The rule is straightforward. Walk first, feed after, or wait at least 30 minutes post-meal before any activity. This window allows the stomach to settle and begin digestion safely. When owners follow this routine, they reduce the chance of one of the most devastating emergencies in veterinary medicine. Small habits create big layers of protection. 8. Keeping the same food for life. A dog's metabolism shifts dramatically from puppyhood to adulthood and then into the senior years. Puppies need explosive energy and tissue development. Adults require balanced maintenance. Seniors need kidney support, fewer calories, and more antioxidants. Keeping the same food for life ignores basic biology. It's like expecting a baby and an elderly person to thrive on the same diet. AFCO and FEDF guidelines exist to tailor nutrients to each life stage. All life stages foods can work in some cases, but they don't replace a properly targeted plan. Updating the dog's diet at each age transition ensures longevity, stable weight, joint health, and preserved kidney function. Feeding according to life stage is a mark of nutritional intelligence. 9. Choosing food based on price instead of quality. Price can be misleading. Many low-cost foods rely heavily on corn, wheat, and byproduct meals, ingredients that are inflammatory and poorly absorbed. Dogs end up eating more yet absorbing less, while the liver and intestines work overtime. On the other hand, clearly labeled animal proteins, chicken, beef, turkey, have higher bioavailability and a stronger metabolic response. The difference isn't in the packaging, it's in the biochemistry. Another critical point is avoiding preservatives like BHA and BHT, which are linked to oxidative stress. Artificial dyes add nothing nutritionally and can worsen allergies. The rule is simple. Read the first 5 ingredients. If an animal protein comes before carbohydrates, you're on the right path. A dog doesn't need the most expensive food, just a biologically coherent one. 10. Ignoring signs of food, allergies. Food allergies are silent thieves. They rarely begin with vomiting. Instead, they often show up as itching, paw licking, recurring ear infections, and inconsistent stools. A dog's skin reflects its gut health. When the protein in the food irritates the intestinal lining, the body reacts through the skin. Studies show that 70% of food-allergic dogs present dermatologic symptoms first. Novel protein diets, like lamb, duck, or fish, or hydrolyzed diets are key tools in treatment. Elimination trials lasting 8 to 12 weeks reveal the true source of the problem. Once the diet is corrected, the difference is striking. Calmer skin, clean ears, firm stools, stable energy. The solution was in the bowl the whole time. It just needed to be identified. 11. Not providing fresh water. Stagnant water may look harmless, but microbiologically, it becomes a perfect environment for bacteria to grow. Unwashed bowls accumulate colonies of E. coli, Pseudomonas, and invisible biofilms attached to the bowl's surface. When a dog drinks from this water, it puts pressure on the kidneys and digestive system without the owner realizing it. Imagine drinking from a cup left outside all day. That's what many dogs experience daily. Changing the water twice a day and washing the bowl with soap is more than hygiene. It's kidney protection. Stainless steel bowls, filtered fountains, and consistently fresh water encourage proper hydration, reducing the risk of urinary crystals and chronic kidney disease. It's a simple routine that supports long-term health far more than most owners imagine. 12. Believe in dog food lasts forever. Kibble may seem stable, but once exposed to air, it undergoes oxidation, a process that breaks down fats, vitamins, and flavor. Within weeks, essential nutrients degrade and invisible mold can start to develop. The owner thinks they're feeding quality food, but the dog ends up eating something nutritionally poor and potentially irritating to the gut. Storing kibble in its original bag, well sealed and protected from light, is the safest way to preserve quality. Never mix new kibble with old. This hides expiration dates and increases the risk of contamination. A simple opening date written on the bag can prevent issues. Small habits create major nutritional differences. 13. Using milk as a substitute. After weaning, most dogs lose the enzyme lactase, which is essential for breaking down lactose. When they drink milk, the intestine can't process it. It ferments. This leads to gas, diarrhea, abdominal discomfort, and inflammation of the intestinal lining. Picture a machine running with the wrong fuel. It works, but it struggles. Milk doesn't hydrate and doesn't meet a dog's nutritional needs. If the goal is to enrich meals, safer options include homemade unsalted broth, fresh water, or vet-approved supplements. The safest path is always choosing what respects the dog's physiology, not what looks tasty from a human perspective. Now that you understand how each detail in your dog's feeding routine affects their body and behavior, the question is simple. What will you do with this information? Will you keep feeding your dog the same way, hoping everything turns out fine? Or will you start making small changes today that can genuinely add years to their life? The truth is uncomfortable but freeing. Many of the things you see every day, itching, loose stools, vomiting in the morning, low energy, weight gain, are not normal. They're signals you can now recognize. Signals pointing directly to choices that are entirely in your hands. And if you know what causes these problems and still don't change, your dog is the one who pays the price. If this video opened your eyes and helped you see your dog in a new, clearer way, keep growing with us. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join a community of owners who truly want to do better. Here, you'll learn something valuable in every video, and your dog will feel the difference every day.